When I got the results, it was still kind of just the world stops for a second, right? And you just wonder, okay, how bad is this going to be? You think of every person you've ever known that's had this and the outcome of that. And you think of your kids, your spouse, your friends, your family. How are you going to tell everybody that you have cancer now? The thing that I didn't understand with breast cancer is those initial results aren't the final results. There's so much more that's going to come after that. My story starts a couple of years ago. I had gone into my primary care doctor here in St. Charles for an acute visit for something completely unrelated, and they reminded me that I was overdue for my mammogram. Being a mom and a nurse and a wife and just busy with life, I didn't make that appointment, even though they had reminded me at my annual exam. So luckily they had reminded me, and I made my appointment. Within a few weeks, I was able to get in at Olmsted for my scan. And I had my mammogram and was called back that afternoon to say that they saw something abnormal and they wanted to do an ultrasound. Of course, being a nurse, I was starting to worry, and I had a lot of guilt for not catching it. I'm a nurse. I'm a nurse in primary care. I remind people of these exams all the time. That is what we do. We want to make people healthy by getting these preventative screenings. And I wasn't doing that. I wasn't doing my home exams. I didn't realize that you should stand in front of a mirror and hold your arms above your head and look for indents. I didn't know that. Dr. Smith was great at going over everything with me, just kind of explaining what everything looked like, what he thought was happening. The staff there were amazing as well, just very reassuring. And then I messaged my boss and I said, it's cancer. And she's like, no, it's not. I'm like, it is. I said, she goes, you need to go home, whatever you need, we got you. And that was, something that they said the whole time, we got you. I did not feel like I was prepared for it. I remember giving the results to a friend of mine and not having answers for her, just knowing basically this is what we know, right? And not knowing the different pathways that can happen. In primary care, you know a lot about many things, but you're not necessarily a proficient or an expert on any one thing. I think after this experience, I feel much more of an expert, because once you go through it and once you see those different paths, you are definitely more knowledgeable. You know what articles to read, you know how to understand the different websites and the different treatment options. But prior, and I felt like I was a really good nurse, but I was lost with this. I think like everybody, are you going to die from cancer? Is this going to, cause you to be so sick and lose your hair? And my husband came up and, for a few days, I was able to just kind of relax and kind of put it out of my mind. And then get those kind of final results start coming in, like for sure that's what this is. And then within a week I had seen general surgery. And so then I felt like I had a little more power back, because you knew then what the paths were going to be. Because initially it's like, I'm going to have a mastectomy. I'm going to have chemotherapy. I'm going to be in the hospital. I'm going to be sick all the time, Christmas, holidays, vacations that we had planned. Like, you think all of that's going to be at the wayside now. And so I think so many things run through your mind. So many things. It's very loud, I would say. I opted for a lumpectomy with radiation, and it was great. Our our referral program and their coordination with other healthcare organizations in the area was smooth and seamless. And then your follow-up treatment then is scans every 6 months. So it alternates with breast MRI and a mammogram. I have two sisters. I have a daughter. And so you have concerns of, is there something in our genes that are going to, preclude them to have this? It truly is a lifelong, I don't want to say commitment, but it's something that's with you forever. You still have that risk that it's going to come back any day. And when it does, it's stage 4. Thankfully, there's a lot of research out there and people are living long lives, even when they're in stage 4. And I think the support that we have from, they call them Pink Sisters. It's a group you never want to be in, but once you are, you definitely feel surrounded and embraced and supported. Like my husband was super supportive. He would have supported any path I took. And I think that, and what I share with other people who've had breast cancer is it's your decision alone. I think I've learned that I have to take care of myself. I need to take the time for myself. I've, for the most part, let go of the guilt for being late in getting my mammogram. But it certainly put me on a path of knowing that I need to do all that I am recommended to do. And I encourage others to do that. I'm not afraid to say, I was late. I was late getting my mammogram. And had it continued, my outcome may have been very different. I'm thankful that I go to a provider and I work for an organization that you can go in with knee pain and they're going to remind you that you need a mammogram, because truthfully, that's what happened. I went in for an acute issue and they reminded me it could have been another year before I went back in to see them. What do I do for myself now? I do like to read audiobooks as well on my commute to work. I love to spend time with friends and family. So anytime I get a chance to do that, I do that because life is short, And so now I think, well, maybe I was given this diagnosis to help with that. What do we do at Olmsted, or what do I do with the patients that I see? And how can I better educate them on the different things? Because it's not just checking for a lump. There's other ways and other ways that the breast cancer can show itself. What I do know is that every woman should be doing a self-breast exam every month. Even though I was over 40 when I was diagnosed, many women are diagnosed before 40. So I think that, a good message would be to raise your arms in front of the mirror and take a look and look for that indent, because I think that's sometimes what's missing. Yes. So all of you women out there, yes, raise those arms.